Welcome to Fresh Start. I'm Mary Beth, and today we are cooking two of Warren County's soups that I fixed down at the Juicy's Wellness Cafe. One of the soups is a hearty vegetable soup that has been a favorite for a couple years here in our hometown of Warren County. And I also do it's a black bean and sweet potato tortilla soup, so I can't wait to share it with you. And I'm also going to do a little dessert. It's with pineapple, and I can't wait to share it with you. It's a new way that I have accidentally found out that pineapple can taste like candy. So today we're going to start out with our vegetable soup. You're going to start out with 8 cups of vegetable broth, and I've already got that started. Let me grab a towel. Okay, while you let that come to a real good boil, and then you're going to put some quinoa in the broth. And what this quinoa is the healthiest grain that you can possibly eat. It is full of fiber. It's actually a sprout. Most people think that it is a grain, but it's actually a sprout. So it's full of enzymes that actually help your body fight cancer and inflammation and chronic disease. All right, so you're going to let that start boiling. While that's boiling, I'm going to move the pineapple to the side. You are going to get 4 carrots, and I usually just cut the ends off. And you're going to chop whatever size you like. I like about medium chop there. And I usually use at least 4 carrots. Carrots they're not only good for your eyesight, they're also good for if your stress levels are high. Really good. It gives you like a calming effect. Let me sharpen my knife a little bit. Okay, so you're going to cut your carrots up. You're going to put them in your broth. When I was a little girl, I couldn't stand carrots, but now I love them, so I can't eat enough of them. So again, it's 4 carrots. And I usually, after this, we're going to cut some red potatoes. So I try to put the heavier vegetable in first, just so it cooks really good. And when I was younger, I used to cook my soup, and so did my mom, and we would cook it till it was so limp and soggy that it lost the flavor. So with this soup, you're not going to cook it till it's limp. So it might still have a little crunch to it. That just means you're getting the nutrients from the vegetables that you're eating. So if you cook over 45 minutes, you've probably cooked too long. So with my potatoes, I usually get about 7 or 8 potatoes. And you want them to be bite size. These are red potatoes. So you're going to cut them to about a bite size. And red potatoes, I never ate red potatoes until I started making this soup. And to me, they make the soup. They give it a lot of flavor. I have a lot of guys in my family that, because I don't eat meat, they think my soup is just made of salad. So this soup gives you a meaty flavor. So you don't even have to tell anybody that it doesn't have meat in it, and they will not know it, because it does taste like it has beef in it. And going back to the quinoa that we did, the grain that we put in this, you can find that at any of our local stores. Whoops. And any of the grocery stores here. It is in the rice and bean area, the dry beans and rice. Usually on the top row. That's kind of how I tell my husband to shop when he goes for me. Tell him what row it's on, or what level it is. All right. Potatoes cut. And again, you don't have to use this many potatoes if you don't want, but I love them, and again, it makes it really super hearty. The next vegetable that I'm going to be cutting is broccoli. Broccoli, of course, is full of fiber, and it's green, so you know it's good for your skin. It's full of chlorophyll. It just tastes good. almost done here. I kind of cheated on the broccoli. I went ahead and cut it ahead of time. So we're gonna leave this one out. Our bowl's getting kind of full here. So here's our broccoli. And you're gonna take about, it's fresh broccoli. You can use frozen if you prefer. Usually one bag, just a small bag of broccoli is enough. But this broccoli is probably about 2 crowns right here. And you're just gonna get the florets and you'll chop it about a little over bite size because it will shrink as it cooks. The next thing we're going to cut is celery. Celery, of course, is full of water, and it is also full of fiber, vitamin C. And I love it with peanut butter and honey. And this is about 3 stalks, and it's okay if you want to cut it up and leave the leaves in it. It's perfectly fine. It actually gives the soup a little bit more flavor. So celery also has potassium and magnesium. So magnesium is like the mineral that kind of helps us relax a little bit. So I always put a lot in there. All right, the next thing is onion. I'm only going to use half an onion for this recipe. You can use as much onion as you want, no more than 1. Half is perfect to me. Onions are so good for you. When your eyes start burning and you start to cry, that's actually it's like a cancer fighter in the onion. So when it gets into your body, that fume that makes your eyes burn or water is actually, when it gets into your body, it helps your body fight cancer. So that mixed with mushrooms and garlic, they're all cancer bombs. So if you ever fix a meal with mushrooms and garlic and onions, it's a cancer fighter right there. All right, so I do that in a fine chop, or a medium chop really. So if you can see that right there, that's half an onion. So altogether, this recipe takes 8 cups of vegetable broth, 1/4 cup of quinoa, 5 different vegetables. You got broccoli, 2 crowns or 1 bag of frozen, 4 carrots, 3 stalks of celery or 4, and half an onion, and about 6 or 7 red potatoes. All right, the next thing we're going to pour in there is either fire roasted tomatoes or just diced tomatoes. And you can actually cut a tomato up, 2 tomatoes, but just if you want to make it easy and quick, I just got some organic diced tomatoes, and it's about probably about 16 ounces, the whole can, if you get a can. All right, next thing is I use corn. I get the organic corn, and it's frozen, and I use about 2 cups, let's see here, about 1.5 cups of corn. I'm going to stir that up. All right, next thing I'm going to do is my spices, which is rosemary. It's 2 teaspoons of rosemary. Celery seed, 2 teaspoons. And basil, 2 teaspoons. And salt, a little bit of salt. And with the salt, I am just gonna do it with my hand here. It's about 2 teaspoons. I use Celtic sea salt. Just stir that up. And it's very colorful, it's very pretty. Okay, so while that's cooking, we'll get started with the next one. Let's start cooking. Okay, the next one is kind of spicy, but not too much. It is really super good and super good for you. Again, people will not know that it's healthy. You're gonna need half an onion, so we're gonna use the onion that I used before. You're also going to use sweet potato. So I've cut some of these pieces up, and it's either one medium sweet potato or a large sweet potato if you really like sweet potato. Chop these over here. And sweet potatoes can be tough to cut. So you just, and again, cut these however, I like them about bite size, about like that. Let me check my boss. All right, so I do have about a cup of vegetable broth in the pot right now, heating up. And I leave the skin on. Some people, they don't want to eat the skin, but a lot of your nutrients is in that skin of the sweet potato. And it tastes really good too. And again, this was probably a large sweet potato, so I think I'm going to use all of it. We'll go ahead and put that in with my broth. And I'm going to go ahead and put about 2 more cups of broth in. And sweet potatoes, a fun fact about sweet potatoes is they actually help with anti-aging. So they actually help stimulate collagen in the skin to give it that smooth appearance. So just a fun fact for you. All right, our next ingredient will be cilantro. Cilantro is super good for you. It helps get heavy metals out of your blood. Like if you've taken a lot of medications as a child or even as an adult, antibiotics, had vaccines, it does leave heavy metals in your body and your liver. So what cilantro does is that helps eliminate that out of your system. Almost got this done. Okay. And now for the cilantro. And usually when you go to the store and you buy your cilantro, usually get it in a bundle. And this was a bundle. So what I normally do, I love fresh cilantro, so I'll use maybe half of the bundle for the soup. Right there. And cilantro is also good like for halitosis if you have problems with gums or any type of gum disease. It's really good for that. So, or just to give you fresh breath, it's really good. So you're just gonna rough chop this, and rough chop just means just go through and just chop it. Doesn't have to be too little. And use stems and all. So that is where a lot of your flavor is. That in here. All right, so we've got our onion. Let's chop that up. And again, this is just a medium chop. Doesn't have to be real small. And again, half an onion, half a bundle of cilantro, 1 large sweet potato, and about 6 cups of vegetable broth. Okay, then you're going to add 8 ounces of enchilada sauce. I like mild. I like spicy, but not too spicy. So you can use your own judgment on if you want medium or hot. So, and then I use rotel, just tomatoes and chilies, and that's 16 ounces. Give that a stir. And then you're going to add right at 3 cups of black beans. You can prepare your own black beans if you'd like, or if you get organic beans in a can, make sure you rinse them really well. So drain and rinse them really good before pouring them into your soup. Let's see, and corn. We're going to use the rest of the corn. It's about half a bag, and frozen corn is really better in this particular soup. I don't know why, but it is always better when I use frozen corn. Stir that up, and now for the spices, which are a teaspoon of maple syrup, pure maple syrup, not pancake syrup. There is a difference. Just a teaspoon. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and 2 teaspoons of cumin. Stir that up good. And let's see here. Put the rest of that enchilada sauce in there. Clean up my mess here. All right, and I squeezed just a little bit of lime in there. All right, for our pineapple, cut this up. Find my rag. All right, what I've already done here is I have cut a pineapple. I've cut the top of it off and the bottom, and then I cut it down the center. Pineapple can be so intimidating. I know when I go to the store, I used to go to the store and I wouldn't buy it. I would always buy the already cut and speared containers of pineapple. But when I learned how to cut the pineapple, it's easy. So once I cut it in half and cut the ends off and the skin, you're just gonna make little spears. And the skin is actually really healthy. So the more skin you can keep on the pineapple, the better. All right, what I'm doing now is I'm heating up a skillet, and we're gonna make butter, key lime butter with lime and cilantro. And this is gonna go on corn on the cob. It's my favorite way to eat corn. When I first started doing this, a lot of people thought I was weird, but then when they tried it, they loved it. So if you like lime and you like cilantro or even salsa, you're gonna love this. So this isn't butter, it's actually Earth Balance that you can just get in any local store here. You know, it tastes like butter, but not as, it's healthier. All right, so I'm gonna, that's for later. All right, so I'm gonna squeeze half a lime. And this butter again is for corn. And then I'm going to throw some cilantro in there. All right. And the cilantro is only just for a few minutes, or seconds, sorry. I'm going to pour that into a bowl and set it to the side. Okay. Here. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more butter. Now this is my favorite right here. This was the thing I found out or discovered by accident, kind of. I'm gonna get that melting. And again, the juice of half a lime. Same thing as you did with the butter for the corn. And then about 3 teaspoons of chopped cilantro. Cut down the heat just a little. Now the fun part. You're going to throw your pineapple in. And this is good with corn on the cob, just as a healthy snack that's filling and good and delicious. And pineapple is, a fun fact about pineapple is it is actually very alkaline. So when you eat a lot of acidic food, like meat, dairy, your body can become inflamed. People with lupus, gout, you can't eat certain things. So pineapple is good for actually inflammation that causes all that pain. So you're going to let this just sizzle for about 2 or 3 minutes, and it smells fabulous. I'm going to turn it. And it's really good. To be honest, this is a fresh pineapple, but I actually, when I discovered this recipe, it was from some pineapple that was already pre-cut. So it was a lot more ripe than this was. So the riper, the better. To me, this tastes, the riper your pineapple, it's going to taste like candy. All right. Smelling good. So I'm going to take my butter and I'm going to pour that out. Well, a couple pieces of corn on the cob. You're just going to pour that over your corn. See that? While that's cooking, I was going to show you the tortilla soup. Your tortilla soup, you sprinkle just some croutons on there, some wontons, just sprinkle right on top and serve. And it's great with this corn actually. So this corn and the tortilla soup is delicious together. And here, I'll show you the vegetable soup. Turned out great. You see how colorful that is? It's also, I don't know if I would do this with a vegetable, but definitely this with some cornbread or crackers. So it's great and very, very colorful. Beautiful. All right. It's like our pineapple is almost done. And I've made this several times. The last time I made it, it was very, it was toasty. It had you could tell that I had actually sauteed it, so it was brown just a little bit. It was really good. Well, it's like little pineapple steaks. And pour the rest of this over the pineapple. And there you go. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in to Fresh Start. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the recipes, and I'll see you next time.